परमहंस आचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिला प्रभुपाद की, इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य शिला प्रभुपाद की, नाम आचार्य शिला हरिदास ठाकुर की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद भागवतम की जय। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So welcome to this morning Bhagavatam class. Today we are reciting the verse from Canto 4, Chapter 11. Swayambhuva Manu advises Dhruva Maharaj, and the text 23 and 24. Let's start with 23, text 23. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 23. Avyaktasya prameyasya Nana Shakti Udasya cha Navai Chikitsatam Tatha Ko Vedata Swasambhavam Avyaktas Aprameyasya Nana Shakti Udasya sa Navai Chikirsitam Tata Ko Vedata Swasambhavam Avyaktasya Prameyasya Nana Shakti Udasya cha Navai Chikirsitam Tata Ko Vedata Swasambhavam. Prabhuji. Avyaktasya aprameyasya Nana Shakti Udasya cha Navai Chikirsitam Tata Ko Vedata Swasambhavam. Avyaktasya prameyasya Nana Shakti Udasya cha Navai Chikirsitam Tata Ko Vedata Swasambhavam. Mataji. Avyaktasya prameyasya Nana Shakti Udasya cha Navai Chikirsitam Tata Ko Vedata Swasambhavam. Avyaktasya aprameyasya Nana Shakti Udasya cha Navai Chikirsitam Tata Ko Vedata Swasambhavam. Avyaktasya aprameyasya Nana Shakti Udasya cha Navai Chikirsitam Tata Ko Vedata Swasambhavam. What meaning? Avyaktasya, of the unmanifested. Apremeyasya, of the transcendence. Nana, various. Shakti, energies. Udayasya, of him who gives rise to. Cha, also. Na, never. Why, certainly. Chikirsitam, the plan. Tata, my dear boy. Ka, who. Veda, can know. Atha, therefore. Swa, own. Sambhavam, origin. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation, please repeat. The absolute truth, transcendence, is never subject to the understanding of imperfect sensory endeavor, nor his subject to direct experience. He is the master of varieties of energies, like the full material energy, and no one can understand his plans or actions. Therefore, it should be concluded that although he is the original cause of all causes, no one can know him by mental speculation. Purport. The questions may be raised since there are so many varieties of philosophers theorizing in different ways, which of them is correct? The answer is that absolute truth, that the transcendence is never subject to direct experience or mental speculation. The mental speculation may be called Dr. Frog. The story is that a frog in 3-foot well wanted to calculate the length and breadth of the Atlantic Ocean on the basis of his knowledge of his own well. But it was an impossible task for Dr. Frog. A person may be great academician, scholar or professor, but he cannot speculate and expect to understand the absolute truth, for his senses are limited. The cause of all causes, the absolute truth, can be known from the absolute truth himself, and not by our ascending process to reach him. When the sun is not visible at night, or when it is covered by a cloud in the day, it is not possible to uncover it either by bodily or mental strength or by scientific instruments. Although the sun is there in the sky, no one can say that he has discovered a torchlight so powerful that if one goes on a roof and focuses torchlight on the night sky, the sun will then be seen. There is no such torchlight, nor is it possible. The word avyakta, unmanifested, in this verse indicate that the absolute truth cannot be manifested by any strain of so-called scientific advancement of knowledge. Transcendence is not the subject matter of direct experience. The absolute truth may be known in the same way as the sun covered by a cloud or covered by night. For when the sun rises in the morning in its own way, then everyone can see the sun, everyone can see the world, and everyone can see himself. This understanding of self-realization is called Atma Tattva. Unless, however, one comes to this point of understanding the Atma Tattva, one remains in the darkness in which he was born. Under the circumstances, no one can understand the plan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord is equipped with varieties of energies, as stated in the Vedic literature. Parasya Shaktir Vidasya Shruyate. He is equipped with the energy of eternal time. Not only does he have the material energy, which we see and experience, but he has also many reserve energies that he can manifest in due course of time when necessary. The material scientist can simply study the partial understanding of the varieties of energies. He can take up one of the energies and try to understand it with a limited knowledge, but still it is not possible to understand the absolute truth in fully by dint of material science. No material scientist can foretell what is going to happen in the future. The Bhakti Yoga process, however, is completely different from so-called scientific advancement of knowledge. A devotee completely surrenders unto the Supreme who reveals himself by his causeless mercy, as stated in Bhagavad Gita, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. The Lord says, I give him intelligence. What is that intelligence? Yena mamupayantite. The Lord gives one the intelligence to cross over the ocean of nescience and come back to home, back to Godhead. In conclusion, the cause of all causes, the absolute truth or the supreme Brahman, cannot be understood by philosophical speculation, but he reveals himself to his devotees because the devotee fully surrender unto his lotus feet. Bhagavad Gita is therefore to be accepted as a revealed scripture spoken by the absolute truth himself when he descended to this planet. If any intelligent man wants to know what God is, he should study this transcendental literature under the guidance of bona fide spiritual master. Then it is very easy to understand Krishna as he is. We also should cover text 24. I'll read the translation just. My dear son, those yakshas who are descendants of Kuvera are not actually the killers of your brother. The birth and death of every living entity are caused by the Supreme, who is certainly the cause of all causes. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dena Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna. Welcome once again. So we are continuing the Dhruv Maharaj pastimes. So Dhruv Maharaj pastimes we are continuing. This so far we heard that Dhruv Maharaj killed, his brother was killed by Yaksha, and to take the revenge on Yakshas, he started killing all the Yakshas. So, and he was only one Yaksha killed his brother, but in return he was killing so many Yakshas. Those who don't have, those innocent Yakshas, he started killing. Now, in this chapter, Swayambhuva Manu interfered. Swayambhuva Manu is his grandfather, and he interfered, and he is giving advice to Dhruv Maharaj that don't kill all these Yakshas. So this, if you see this, the instructions are very nice, elaborate. It started from verse 7 in this chapter, and throughout this chapter, Swayambhuva Manu is giving the very nice instructions to Dhruv Maharaj. And if you see, when we are reading all these instructions, when the word Swayambhuva Manu is giving in the previous verses, this verse and few more verses after this, when we see, when all the instructions, when he was talking, it reconnects, it remembers our instructions from Bhagavad Gita as well. Most of the instructions are in line to the Bhagavad Gita, like where Krishna was speaking to Arjuna. If you see the difference in the situation, the other side, Krishna was giving the Arjuna this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. Reason? Arjuna was not fighting, ready to fight in that instant. Where? Because Kauravas followed adharma path. They created so many difficulties to Pandavas. But Arjuna was giving all the bodily reasons, like, okay, compassionate, and killing the people, the relatives and friends will cause sinful actions, or it will create a kulakshaya, because the head of the family members will be destroyed in the war, and because of that, and the people in the family must follow irreligious principles, and then subsequently all the varna sankara will happen, and so many. And one more reason he mentioned, after killing all these relatives, what is the point in enjoying the kingdom? So he was giving various reasons, only not to fight. There, all these instructions, the whatever Swayambhuva Manu, in the inline to the same instructions Krishna is giving to Arjuna to fight. Now, when we see here Dhruva Maharaj is fighting, he is doing the war, he is killing. But here the instructions are to stop the war. So see the difference. Both situations are different. But when we see, it looks at a high level, in our normal context, when we see, two are different scenarios, incidents. But the message is coming the same from the Krishna as well as Swayambhuva Manu. But is it both are really different? If you see underlying root cause of this issue is same. What is that underlying root cause? Both are thinking in terms of bodily platform, right? Arjuna is thinking in the bodily relation with all the people, and he is thinking that, okay, if I kill all my relatives, grandfather, guru, brothers, I will get sinful action, I will be not enjoying the kingdom without them, and all the so-called various reasons. In Bhagavad Gita, first chapter, we could see that. And here, the Dhruva Maharaj was he was very much affectionate to his brother, and he was killed. Right. So, and again, both are having the understanding of the bodily level relation. Though both are great devotees of Krishna, but they are distracted. They were thinking on the bodily level, and they started. One is fighting, and here Dhruva Maharaj, the other side, he doesn't want to fight. So, what I wanted to do today in this class, I will take few instructions, whatever Swayambhuva Manu gave, and whatever just will try to, few instructions will compare with Bhagavad Gita, and then we'll see what is the benefit of combining these two, what is the key message we can derive from this comparison. That is, and then we'll do subsequently other things in line to purport. So, if you see that when Krishna started Bhagavad Gita, what he said, first Arjuna, you are not the body, you are the soul. And he gave the knowledge about soul and the super soul. And then we need to establish the connection with the super soul. That's where different yoga process coming into the picture. Jnana yoga, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, and ashtanga yoga. And finally Krishna gave bhakti yoga is the topmost, in my opinion, he gave. And then he said surrender to 18.66, sarvadharma anuparichada. This is how he tried to elevate, bring up the change the consciousness of Arjuna. So same way here Swayambhuva Manu also started in the, if you see the first instruction Swayambhuva Manu gave in the previous verses, one should not accept the body as a self, and thus like the animals kill bodies of others. This is specially forbidden by saintly persons who follow the path of devotional service to Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the instruction, one of the instructions he began that you are not the body, you are the soul. That was the same thing. Because Dhruva Maharaj was thinking in the bodily platform, so he wanted to change his consciousness. So then, and not only said, this specially forbidden by saintly persons. Those who are very saintly people, they are not going to do that kind of killing other people, that they will not do. Similar instruction we could see in Bhagavad Gita in second chapter, 2.2. In Bhagavad Gita, many places we see we are not the body, we are the soul. But in relation to the saintly persons, don't do this. And where see the word in 2.2, it was mentioned. Kutastva kashmalam idam vishame samupasitam anarya justam asvargam akirtikaram arjuna. Anarya, Aryas, right? Aryas are the people who know the path of realization, who are the saintly people. Those people who are Aryans, they don't try to follow on the bodily level. They don't unnecessarily kill. They follow the path of devotion, and they will be progress in the path of bhakti. So this is one thing. And the next one, Swayambhuva was telling it to Dhruva Maharaj, because of you are a pure devotee of the Lord, Lord is always thinking of you and you are also recognized by his confidential devotees. Your life is meant for exemplary behavior. I am therefore surprised. Why have you undertaken such abominable task? So he was saying that because you are a pure devotee of the Lord, Lord is always thinking of you. Like in the Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna was telling that why I am giving this knowledge to Arjuna, Arjuna to Arjuna. You are my devotee and friend. Because of these reasons I am giving you. Here Swayambhu Manu was telling you are a devotee of Krishna and Supreme Lord Vishnu and he is always thinking about you. So we could see that similar instructions here as well. And another instruction which Swayambhu Manu gave in previous verses, the Lord is very satisfied with his devotees when the devotee greets other people with tolerance, mercy, friendship, equality. So here, now the Swayambhu Manu was initially started with you are not the body, you are the soul, and how. Now the next is telling how as a devotee you should behave. What are the qualities you have to exhibit, right? These are the tolerance, mercy, and all these qualities Swayambhu Manu is giving. And even same thing in 16th chapter, Krishna was giving all the divine qualities, like of all the people who are, what qualities we should have, tolerance, mercy. There are so many, I think, total 3 verses there are there. In the 3 verses in the 16th chapter, he has explained all the qualities. In the similar way, Swayambhu Manu is also giving those qualities. So both they are exhibiting what qualities their devotees should possess. And Swayambhu Manu was giving it, one who actually satisfies the Supreme Personality of Godhead during one's lifetime becomes liberated from the gross and subtle material conditions. So we have to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is what the instruction. So whatever action you do, whatever things you do, you always try to please Supreme Lord. That should be the consciousness you should possess. That's what the Swayambhu Manu is giving to Dhruv Maharaj. Same way we can see in 529, Krishna is saying, Bhuktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, right? So Krishna is the enjoyer of all. So we should always work to please Krishna. So these are all the things which slowly even Swayambhu Manu also trying to change the consciousness of Dhruv Maharaj by all the instructions. You are not the body. We have to exhibit devotional qualities and we have to always work towards pleasing Krishna. So these are, and the same way in Bhagavad Gita also it is mentioned in line in the similar process, like we see starting Krishna, how these instructions were given in Bhagavad Gita. And now the next thing is the subsequent few instructions. The Swayambhu Manu was saying that creation of material world begins with 5 elements, and thus everything including the body of a man or woman is created of these elements. So the earth, water, fire, air, ether, these are the 5 elements through that all this material universe is created. And then subsequently he was mentioning, Manu continued, my dear King Dhruva, it is simply by the illusory material energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and by interaction of the 3 modes of material nature that creation, maintenance, annihilation takes place. And he's also continued in the previous verses. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is uncontaminated by the material modes of nature. He is the remote cause of the creation of this material cosmic manifestation. When he gives the impetus, many other causes and effects are produced, like this. So he was claiming that this old material world is created by the 5 elements and then different energies of Krishna maintaining this universe, and then he is not, even though he is a created material world, he is above, beyond these material modes. Same thing in the Jnana Yoga section of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling. So it is same thing. And Krishna, even Swayambhu Manu told that, my dear Dhruva, Supreme Personality of Godhead is ever existing but in the form of time. So in the same way, in the 11th chapter also, Krishna is saying. So like this, if you see, the underlying, these situations are different. Both are doing the different actions. Both they wanted to, the preacher, the person who is speaking, Krishna and Swayambhu Manu, they wanted to change the behavior, consciousness. But instructions, underlying instructions are same. Because both are thinking in the bodily platform. And the last instruction of the last few instructions of Swayambhu Manu, in the subsequent verses we see, Swayambhu Manu is telling to Dhruv Maharaj, please surrender unto Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the ultimate goal of the progress of the world. Everyone, including the demigods headed by Lord Brahma, is working under his control, just as a bull prompted by a rope in its nose is controlled by its owner. Therefore, my dear Dhruva, please turn your attention to Supreme Person. So same thing. So in Bhagavad Gita 18.66 we heard, right? So Sarva Dharmanu Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Bhaja. Abandon all other religious activities and simply surrender unto me. So here also Swayambhuvan is telling to Dhruva Maharaj that take the shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead, turn towards Him and pay attention to Him. So this is how we can see both the instructions almost the same. Even Swayambhuvan is one of the Mahajans, right? Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, Kumaro, Kapilo, Manu, that Bhagavatam verse says. So he is one of the great Mahajan. He is a devotee of the Lord. So he is also giving similar instructions to the Dhruva Maharaj when he is not following the right path. No. By comparing these things, what we by do the Bhagavad Gita with the Swayambhuva Manu instructions, what is the key message we can take? Like the key message we can think of is, see, if you see the Swayambhuva Manu instructions, my dear king, just consider what I have said to you, which all act as a medicinal treatment upon disease. So, we are all in the conditioned world. We are all from the morning we wake up until we sleep. We always think in the form of bodily relations. Of course, if devotees are here, devotees all here, and most of the devotees, every devotee they plan everything action in such that they give priority to service and later they will do other things. But in most of the people outside, their approach is the bodily based on the bodily conditions. They will plan, they will act, everything. That is happening. So, for all of us, this is the treatment, like how the Swayambhuva Manu gave the prescription, the medicinal treatment to Dhruva Maharaj, the same treatment is applicable to us as well. So same thing it is in Bhagavad Gita. It was established, proven, when after listening Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's consciousness has changed and he followed the instructions of Krishna. In the same way, we see Dhruva Maharaj also, after following Swayambhuva Manu instructions, he is also coming out of his material bodily conception and working towards Krishna's pleasure. So same way, we are all in this conditioned world. We can also take these instructions. Like what are if you say summarize it in 3 bullet points we can take. So we are not the body, we are the soul. Krishna is the supreme creator of this material ones. We have to always work to please his Krishna. So if you take these 3 steps, 3 key messages from this old topic, then if we follow this path, then we will be able to progress in the bhakti. But not everybody is able to follow these simple instructions in everyone's life, right? So that's where in the beginning of the purport, it was mentioning that different theories are there, philosophers are there, and they're giving the different philosophies. Like example, if you have a medicine, particularly if you see in our Indian context, when we see some home remedies, like if you are cold or if you are cough, we make some home remedies. If you ask someone will tell, I used this thing so that my cold is gone, my cough is gone, right? And if you ask some other person, they will seek different treatment. And if you take each person will have their own plan, their remedy to cure small diseases like cold, cough, or any such thing. Similarly, here in this philosophy also, people will be going different philosophies. They'll understand something, like last week we did, because of the illusory energy of Krishna, we tend to follow the different philosophies, right? So in the same way, the medicine is there, but instead of using the medicine which is prescribed by Krishna, we try to use the medicines based on a different. The reason is we don't have firm faith, conviction of this transcendental knowledge. Because the lack of this knowledge, the lack of faith on these instructions and Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, we are not actually following the path of those instructions. Actually, so if you go to the doctor will tell you use this medicine. Because when we go to the doctor, we will have a strong faith on the conviction on the doctor. Okay, we believe that doctor is expert. Whatever medicine he gives, we will be taking, and it will cure our disease. But in this case, we know that Krishna is giving the instructions, but not everybody is having like firm faith on Krishna's instructions and Bhagavad Gita. Because of that, we are not able to follow these instructions. So in the purport, it was telling that, right? So the actual way, if you see in the purport, it was mentioned, people try to understand this bhakti, absolute truth, in the 2 different ways. Like one is with a speculation. Other one is that practical direct experience. Direct experience is the basic thing. In the material world, we want evidence in front of us. Everything we wanted to through see and understand through our senses, and then only we try to accept it. This is the thing. So in terms of other dimension is we try to accept the things based on our speculation. Okay, we read this verse, this text. Okay, we think that okay with our mind, with our senses, we think that okay, this statement means this is the meaning. So we try to speculate something. So with both these things, we try to understand everything in the material world. But what in the purport Prabhupada was telling, Krishna, if we have to follow the instructions of Krishna, first we have to understand Krishna. Who is he? What is his opulence? What kind of qualities he has? Right? When we understand Krishna, we can follow his instructions. Then right? So in this case, we are not able to understand his instructions because we try to do these material ways, either direct experience or mental speculation. That's what in the Krishna is telling in Bhagavad purport Srila Prabhupada was telling. Right? We cannot understand Krishna any of these through means. Only the best way to understand Krishna is Bhagavad Gita, through bhakti, the process of bhakti. That's why he's saying, when you practice the follow the path of bhakti, Krishna will give the intelligence. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamami payantite. Right? So we can introspect with our example as well in our life before coming to Krishna consciousness. Right? We were not sitting like this and reading Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita message. We don't have any ability. Right? Is it now? At least we are trying to understand something from the scriptures. Is it because of our English language skills? Because by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, all this literature, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, is been translated in many local languages. Since we know the language, are we able to understand this? Is that the only reason? Yes, language is one means to understand the scripture. But is that the only reason? Because just simply by reading on our own, we are able to read the scriptures and understand? No. Because when we didn't directly read the scriptures, right? We came to the temple. We associated with the devotees. We got the instructions from senior Vaishnavas. Then we started doing the chanting. We started doing service. Then we started reading the scriptures. When we're doing all these things as a complete package, with our knowledge of language, we are able to understand these instructions. Otherwise, simply if you try to read on our own, without doing any devotional activities, that will become a speculation. You think that, okay, this means this is what, you give your own meaning and you will thinking that, okay, this is the only actual meaning. But when you do the devotional service, with all that process of devotion, the various process of devotional service, when you read, that's what Krishna is telling. Krishna himself will reveal through your heart, right? Or Krishna's representative, the good spiritual master, will give you the instructions. Then you will be able to understand the message. Then you will take the instructions, the medicine which Swayambhuva Manu giving to the conditioned souls, you will be able to follow and accept. So if you are, this is what we can take our own example. We are not just reading the scriptures purely based on our language skills. That is not. We are trying to understand a deeper meaning with the help of this shastra, deeper meaning of these scriptures, through the help of various senior Vaishnavas, spiritual master. That was available, that came through to us only in the form of bhakti. So here this is what Prabhupada was telling. All this understanding Krishna, understanding absolute, understanding his instructions, it's not a mental speculation, it is not any practical thing, it's mainly because of it's our bhakti. So same thing we can see in one example. We could see previously I quoted this example many times in Srirangam. One example was there where one Brahmana was reading Bhagavad Gita. And he was holding the book upside down in the reverse and he's trying to read. The reason he doesn't know reading the Sanskrit, but still he's reading the Bhagavad Gita. Every day he's trying to read Bhagavad Gita. And one day Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was, when he was in South India tour, he's going through in the Srirangam, he saw the person was, the Brahmana was reading, trying to read, and book he was holding in upside down, and he was because he's illiterate, he doesn't know how to read, but he still is trying to read. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there and asked him, why are you and he was crying. The Brahmana was crying as well. He's trying to read and he's crying. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there and asked, why are you crying? What is the reason? Then the Brahmana told, my spiritual master instructed me to read the Bhagavad Gita every day. But unfortunately, I am illiterate. I can't read. And then he said, then when he is doing this, when the Brahmana was reading this, trying to read Bhagavad Gita with incorrectly holding the book, many other people used to laugh him by saying. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, are you crying because everybody is humiliating you, insulting you? No. Then Brahmana told him, no. Whenever I open the Bhagavad Gita, I see the book, that front page where Krishna is doing he became a charioteer, right? He is driving the chariot of the Arjuna. See, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, supreme Lord. Such a person accepted as a servant to the Arjuna. So, by seeing such things, I feel that how compassionate Krishna is. So, that's the reason I am crying, the Brahmana was telling to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, this is the true meaning of studying scriptures. Even though you are illiterate, you don't read, you're not able to read, but you got the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So, that is what is the essence of Bhagavad Gita in few simple learns from this example. He is submissive to Guru. Guru gave the instruction and he followed the instruction. Even he was trying to follow, though he is cannot capable to read the scriptures properly, but he is trying to follow that. And they develop love for God. When you develop the love for God, what will happen? You love all other people who are connected to God. All the living entities, all the animals, everything is Krishna's children, right? And we will learn. But the love of God, how will come? It will come through process of bhakti. When you read the scriptures, when you understand the essence of scriptures, when you apply, when you practice the bhakti, then you will be able to develop the love of Godhead. And our purpose is not just becoming a scholarly, becoming an expert in Sanskrit and grammar, understanding scripture. That is not the motive. The motive is it should bring the transformation in us. We should have a transformation in our consciousness. So this example of Brahmana in Srirangam, it gives us these dimensions. So what is submissive to Guru, submissive to all his instructions, and by doing bhakti, develop your love for God, love for everyone, and that will change our consciousness. So this is so understanding Krishna by bhakti and instructions is not just material activity, it will come through bhakti. We can see this example based from the example of the Brahmana in Srirangam. Another example from his last one, and after with that I will conclude. Another one is the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Madhya Leela pastime, Sanatana Goswami Shiksha. Right? When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was traveling, going to Vrindavan from Jagannath Puri, he traveled through Varanasi. While going, he was stayed for almost 10 days in Varanasi and the Kashi, and then he went to Vrindavan. On the way back also, he stayed in Varanasi, and that is the time he met Sanatana Goswami. Right? When Sanatana Goswami, other side, he was coming from the Ramakeli, and he wanted to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Finally, when he reached Varanasi, he got to know that Mahaprabhu is there in Varanasi. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is staying with Chandrasekhar Vaidya, one of the Brahman's house in Varanasi. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got to know that this Sanatana Goswami is coming. Then he told the Brahmana, the person, the devotee of the Lord, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so to go and see the one Brahman, when great Vaishnava devotee is waiting outside. And then this person, Chandrasekhar Vaidya, he went outside. He could not find any person outside. Then he came back and no one is there. Then I said, no, you go and see. There is this great devotee is outside. Then this Chandrasekhar Vaidya went again and see. There was one person, not old person, but he was his look is very ugly and he did not shave, he was of grown hair, and he didn't take bath for so many days. He was not looking very nice, a devotee, and that person is a Sanatana Goswami. Since he was working in a Muslim king under emperor, and he was looking like a fakir, and he came all the way from his place, Ramakeli, and then he didn't take, his appearance was looking ugly. He didn't have proper bath or shave or anything. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him to bring him inside. When this Sanatana Goswami came inside, Chaitanya Swami went there, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went and hugged him. So then after that he instructed his associates to, okay, make him ready properly, nice. So these people wanted to, the devout associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they gave him the nice clothes. Then the Sanatana Goswami denied, rejected it, and then he went to Ganga and he took bath. He became very neat. But again they offered the new clothes. Then he denied. He asked, don't want any new clothes. I need used clothes. And then they gave him the used clothes. Then this message, Mahaprabhu got to know that. Then he felt very happy. Then he realized, okay, Sanatana Goswami already is a great devotee. Now he started trying to practice the renounced life. So he was very happy. And then the associates of Mahaprabhu asked him to join the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is having the lunch prasadam, and then they asked Sanatana Goswami to join him. And then Sanatana Goswami, no, I am not going to. He told some reason and he escaped that part. But later he told that I wanted to honor Mahaprasad of Sanatana Mahaprabhu. And then other devotees asked, you come and stay in our house. You can have a lunch prasadam at our place. Then he said, no, as per the Brunda, the renounced people in Vrindavan, what they do, they go to each and every house Madhukari, right? So Sanatana Goswami also wanted to go to Madhukari and get the prasadam daily. And finally, these two incidents made Chaitanya Mahaprabhu happy because he's trying to follow the renounced order of life. Though the Sanatana Goswami is a devotee and he's a scholarly, but when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the renouncing, he trying to renounce all the material things, then he felt very happy. But finally, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was upset with one thing, that he did not tell to Sanatana Goswami directly, but only with his eye instructions. Through eyes he gave the instruction that Sanatana Goswami understood. What is that incident? So when Sanatana Goswami coming from the Ramakeli to the Varanasi, in between he stopped somewhere near Patna in the Bihar state, and one of his relatives gave one shawl, nice shawl, and he was wearing that shawl, very costly one. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw that. Then he understood the meaning, essence, instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then he went outside, Sanatana Goswami, he saw a beggar. And the beggar was having the very old, not a nice one, very old shawl he was wearing. So he said, okay, you take this new one and give me your old one. And then they exchanged. Now the Sanatana Goswami did not have a new cloth, it's old one, and he's doing the Madhukari, and now he's wearing old shawl, very it's not in a good looking shawl. So then he went to Mahaprabhu. Then Mahaprabhu felt very happy that what he did, he renounced everything. Then after that, Mahaprabhu gave the Shiksha to Sanatana Goswami with 40 days. Based on that, Sanatana Goswami come up with the Hari Bhakti Vilas, right? So what the key message from this story is, though Sanatana Goswami is materially well qualified, he knows all the Sanskrit, everything, and he was there working under the kings. He was a minister under king, and he was a devotee. But still, what happened? He left everything. He came to here to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he was renouncing all the material things, and he completely surrendered to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then Mahaprabhu gave all the instructions to Sanatana Goswami. So the key message is, in line to this purport, bhakti, Dadami Buddhi, Krishna, Srila Prabhupada was telling in this purport, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. Krishna will give the intelligence when he will give the reveal to everyone based on our surrenderness, our devotion. Either directly he will give him, or he will give him through his representative, bona fide representative, spiritual master. Through them he will give the instructions, then we can follow. So this is what I would like to convey from these two verses. And the 24th verse, it was like same thing. The translation, my dear son, those yakshas who are descendants of Kuber's are not actually the killers of your brother. The birth and death of every living entity is caused by the Supreme, who is certainly the cause of all causes. So in 24th verse also, it's the same message. Krishna is the cause of all causes. We have to understand that point. That not we always think that in the previous verses when devotees are explaining, they mentioned many examples. We think that everything we are doing, but Krishna is the cause of all causes. With that understanding, we get that understanding only when we follow the path of bhakti. Then we can understand all these instructions clearly and we can apply in our life. So I will conclude here. Any comments? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय और भक्त वृंद की जय।